You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Only the Miami Dolphins. Only the Miami Dolphins on Black Monday, when no one is expecting the head coach to be fired, do they fire the head coach? For people who know how me and Charlie operate since we started this podcast, like we speak, off air, but we don't really speak about team stuff. Normally someone will bring something up and we'll say podcast. Say it for the podcast. We had discussed previously that we would record Monday night, 24 hours after the final game of the season, and that would be our usual, game review, and then I guess we start looking at the off season, but not too much because there's so many months, so many episodes to go, I guess. So Monday afternoon, I am playing Call of Duty. I'm sitting exactly where I'm sitting right now, and I start work at 3 p.m. I look at my phone. I've got 2 messages. That's not surprising. It's about 2:45. No, it's 20 to 3. So I'm thinking probably my mum or maybe my boss to tell me something about work, and it's Charlie and a 5-yard lead. Now Charlie messaging me. Not surprising. I'm thinking it's going to be, but by the way, what time we going today? Something like that. But 5-yard lead messaging me is surprising. Now, I'm thinking he's probably messaging me to ask, have I seen the Dexter finale? So I click on 5-yard lead, Brian Flores fired. I'm like, what? So I click on Charlie, Brian Flores fired. At this point, I'm thinking, no, these guys are lying. These guys are being fooled by one of them fake Adam Schefter tweets, because there's no way that the Miami Dolphins, who just beat the New England Patriots, have fired Brian Flores. So I go on social media, and it's confirmed. After 3 seasons, Brian Flores is no longer the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Even with hours to digest what has happened, I'm still confused.
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm Charlie Touche. I got Kadeem Simmons with me, as always, for the fans and by the fans. Listen, I know pain. I know there's a lot of shock out there. And it can be surprising, but it could also not be surprising. Like, yeah, I'm not mad at it, and I don't agree with it. You know what? I should just say this. I remember talking and on the podcast saying he could go winless this season. He's not going to get fired. I said that. So I got to do some damage control. Let me backtrack. So no, really. So I like, yeah, man, Flores could go 1 and whatever. He could break the record and go the first coach to ever go 0-17, and he won't get fired. That's because I feel like, yeah, you're owed a bad season. And I said it 1,000 times. There's 100 things wrong with this team, and QB is not at the top of the list. I've said it 1,000,000 times. It's not at the top of the list. Everybody it's the quarterback. Well, man, we've had 3 winning seasons in 12 years. All right. Flores went back to back in winning seasons. 1 game short of the playoffs, right? All kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like first coach to go, or first team to go on a 7-game losing streak and then come back and win 8 of 9. right? So it's like, oh, quarterback this, quarterback that. Look, the franchise has been in ruins for the past 20 years. It's not just this quarterback that has the franchise looking like this. There is fractured to the core, to the foundation. All right. So when I talk about Flo, and I said he could go winless, I believe that because he's that good of a coach. No, I do not agree with him being fired. All right. Thing is, apparently this is not because of coaching. He did not get fired because of his coaching. He got fired for relationship issues and respect issues. Like, oh, peek behind the curtain, like my dog say, Kadeem. Like, yo, there's more to this. There's something, there's not leaks, a whole gang of leaks coming out of South Florida. Like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Flo did this. Nobody's sleeping with someone's wife. Nothing like that. But this is not a coaching issue. So yes, I was wrong. Oh, I know Steve's gonna like to hear that. So he's gonna like to hear that. So yeah, I was wrong, but it's still not a coaching issue. He didn't get fired for coaching issues. So let's digest this a little bit because I know it's a lot. Everybody want to hear something. And how can a coach go have 2 winning seasons back to back, first time in 12 years? Or well, yeah, I guess it's 3 winning seasons in 12 years. First time in 12 years. I mean, it might be longer than first time in 12 years, but 2 back-to-back seasons, 1 game out in the playoffs, 4-2 against Belichick. Rally the troops to not give in on a 7-game losing streak and still come back and win 8 of 9. How do you get rid of that coach? Oh, all right, here we go. This needs to be said, and it needs to be out front. There's a division in the fan base. It is palpable. Everyone is on one side or the other. You're either Tua is the franchise quarterback or Tua is not the franchise quarterback. I need everyone to hear me real quick. We need to stop that right now. Like, that is not this conversation. This is not, oh, it's because Tua is the quarterback. Oh, it's because Flo doesn't want Tua. Oh, it's because the franchise wants Tua. That's why we're in flux. No, people, like, it's been like this. You know what I'm saying? Chris Grier has been in the building for 2 decades. We've been trash for 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is not just where we are now. This is not how we got here. And I want to be clear. I don't believe it's because of Chris Grier that every trash. Because I also said I wouldn't let go of Flores and I would not let go of Chris Grier. So I want to put that on the record. I don't think it's on Chris Grier's head. Do I think Chris Grier should have went behind Flores? I actually don't. And that's not the popular opinion either. So me, you, and Kevin Durant were on the record saying we think all 3 are going to come back. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to see what happens. This is why I don't think Chris Grier should be fired. Apparently, there were discrepancies over what Jeff Darlington of ESPN reported, that there were the relationship between Grier, Tua, and Flores deteriorated. Quote, deteriorated is what he said. There are also reports saying that there are discrepancies between Flores and Grier over draft picks. Now, let me be clear. This is very important. Yes, Chris Grier is the general manager, but he's not a dictator saying, I pick all the players. Every player I pick is on me. None of the scouts are going to pick my players. Coach don't get no picks in the draft. That's not what this is. It's not a dictatorship. So do you guys remember what Flo looked like when we got Raekwon Davis? Everybody remember that.
That is exactly so. Like, I don't mean to cut you off, but as you were saying that, the first thing I thought was, if you really think that Chris Grier is making these picks, go back and watch the pick of Raekwon Davis.
No. Let's be fair though. Not all the picks. not all the picks. He's not making all the picks, but he's responsible for all of them. That needs to be said. He's responsible. Whether it's a scout that stands on the table and says, "This is the guy. We gotta take this guy." You know what I'm saying? And Chris Grier says, "You know what? Cool, Touche, Scout Touche. We're gonna go with your guy." And I bust. You know what I'm saying? I whiff on the pick. That's on Chris Grier head. That's not on the scout's head. You know what I'm saying? So if Flores says, "I want Raekwon Davis," like, bro, you told me that we needed a D-line. We're going to go D-line, and I picked the D-lineman. This is what I want. I'm the defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? I seen this all my life. He's what we need to do. He stood on the table. Not saying he did, but his reaction says he might have. So let's say he stood on the table for Raekwon Davis. Yes, it falls on Grier, but that was a Flores pick. You agree, Kadeem?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I can't disagree with that.
All right, now dig. If there are discrepancies, reportedly discrepancies between Grier and Flores over picks, and there's more. It's not just picks. It's not just the spotty defense from time to time. It's not just you turnover on the offensive side of the ball with your staff. It's more. But we're just on picks right now. We got some time. We just started this podcast. If there's a discrepancy in picks, Kadeem, and we don't know which way it is, all we can do is speculate. All right, Kadeem, if I told you that Noah Igbenogany was picked by Brian Flores, would you still be as upset if he got fired for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I didn't know Flores was responsible for the Igbenogany pick. You know what I'm saying? So here we are in the crucial stage of our franchise where we have 3 firsts and 2 seconds, and it's the most important draft of our franchise, 2020, right? And we go Noah instead of Jonathan Taylor. Imagine the riff had we went Jonathan Taylor instead of Noah. Someone is responsible for that, and that someone is Chris Grier. However, what if Chris Grier didn't pick Noah? You see what I'm saying? All this is speculation. So if there's reports that, there was draft pick discrepancies, like, there was discrepancies in the draft. And now flip side. There's a saying over here, Kadeem, if was a fifth. All right. And I know we went over that before. If it was a fifth, right? Yep. Listen, flip side of that example is, what if Grier picked Noah and missed on some other picks? What if all these other picks? What if all the picks was just Grier and he's responsible and he put his finger on all the picks and he whiffed on them? And Flores didn't like that. Like, bro, we going into our 4th season and you've been in the building for 20 years and you whiffing on picks. We don't know if that was the conversation, but now Chris Grier like, well, get your offense in check. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. We have no clue. All right. And I'm going to give it back to you for a second, Kadeem, because I got a lot more, but I know you got plenty too. So that's just one aspect of why we decided to move on. We did not discuss the aspect of why does Tua have 4 coordinators in 3 years now? You know what I'm saying? So we get to the point where Flores, and this is all reported. This is not just this is not just Go Time Dolphins want to create some stuff. Nah, it's reported that Flores wanted to bring in his, more people. Like he brought in Chan Gailey, he brought in Chad O'Shea, he brought in Gotzi and Studesville, right? And season 4, it was more turnover. And the Dolphins on some, listen, we gave you 3 years and we don't like what it's looking like on the offensive side of the ball. We don't like that. We don't like the turnover. You need to, if Tua has been the quarterback for the past 2 and he's going to be the quarterback next year, it's like we can't keep giving this man a whole new offensive system every single year. He's on a rookie contract. So imagine Flores like, nah, bro. All right, you want me to be the head coach? I need to be able to work with the staff. And there was an episode of there was a couple episodes of Go Time Dolphins where I was telling people when the OC comes in, he's not the only one that walks in the building. If there's a new OC, the OC brings guys with him to install his offense. most likely new quarterback coach, right? This you're gonna have other people that come in with the OC so they can discuss the vernacular of the offense. All right. So now imagine the Dolphins being in a place where they say, Flo, you're not picking the OC this time. You're not picking the O-line coach this time. You're not bringing homies from high school then this time. Like you're not getting brand new unseasoned, inexperienced offensive line coaches. We're done with that. I'm going to get Mike Munchak. You know what I'm saying? And Flo says, nah, because of the Todd Haley effect. And what the Todd Haley effect is, Todd Haley was infamously combating Hugh Jackson on Hard Knocks in Cleveland. So I told you, like, yo, Hesse comes in and he's a powerful mind. He's gonna be like, yo, get your defense right. I'll worry about my offense. And Flo probably didn't want that, but you're not in a position to dictate that no more because we haven't made the playoffs yet, and you had so much turnover on offense. So more speculation. Maybe the Dolphins said, hey, we're bringing in this OC, whether you like it or not. And Flores said, or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't like that. And then rubber hits the road. There's too much turnover. Who knows what the picks are like? And I'm going to give it back to Kadeem because I still got more to say. But go ahead, bro.
This isn't a one episode conversation. This is two friends, two fans over 2K, over a game of Madden, or multiple games. This is the kind of thing where, I'm sure you and LB, when you're living together, you see the news, and for the next 7 hours, they're just going. And it's also the kind of thing where you'll be sitting there cooking. Yo, I can't believe, like, it's going to happen over and over again.
Straight up, just came from the grocery store, like, we blew it.
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning and just be like, these guys really fired Brian Flores. And now again, this is one of those things where over the next few days, weeks, months, years, things are gonna come out over and over again. When this happened, I basically messaged Charlie and was like, I start working 20 minutes. Do you want to quickly try and get an episode out? And was like, actually, no, let's wait. Let's sit on this to see what comes out. And after the Titans game and we got knocked out of the playoffs, I said that we didn't make the playoffs because we lost to the Titans. It happened weeks before that, pretty much 2 months before that. And from what they're saying about this decision, this is about a month in the making. That these problems have been going on at least, they're saying around a month ago, and which kind of just goes to show that this is something which, Stephen Russ had probably been thinking about for a good few weeks now. Allegedly they said that there was hope that Grier and Flores could, continue working together. But Russ was like, nah, I'm not going to have the situation where you guys don't really want to work together, and then all of a sudden it becomes a game of, he said, he said we should draft this guy. I want to draft this guy, and this guy hasn't worked out. And and all that kind of stuff. And, people are saying it's because Brian Flores wanted Watson or didn't want Watson. People are saying it's because Chris Grier drafting guys like Noah Igbenogany and Hunter Long, and yet they just haven't seen the field this year, or they've barely seen the field this year. I think it's very important to say from the bat, Brian Flores wasn't fired because of who he is as a coach.
That needs to be. Say it again, bro. Say that one more time, bro.
He wasn't fired because he's a bad coach. And you said that the Dolphins fan base is split at the moment, either pro Tua or against Tua. This Brian Flores firing, someone said on Twitter, there's now like 4 camps. You either like pro Flores, pro Tua, or anti Flores and pro Tua, or and like there's so many different combinations, and this is where the fan base has got to. I've seen people on social media say happy that they fired Brian Flores, saying, okay, he won, was it 8 of the last 9 games, but it's only because he lost 7 of the first 8. and that okay, the season finished off 9-8, but what happened at the start of the season and what happened at the start of last season? And obviously, there's the whole Tua situation. There's reports coming out that from the moment Tua steps into the building, Brian Flores did not want him, and he made that abundantly clear in the multiple things he done. People used the Ravens game. Brian Flores says Tua is injured. Tua says, "No, I'm not. Coach, I can play." Brian Flores says, "No, you can't. I'm playing Brissett." So he plays Brissett. Brissett stinks out the place. Tua comes in, looks well, and everyone's like, "So hold on, Tua was fit." There was, I can't remember the player who spoke to Tua. It might have been Duke Riley or Brennan Scarlett, but one of them at some point this season said to Tua, and it picked up on camera. It's not you, it's coaching. Who do you think they were talking about? And it's one of the things where people are now looking back at certain situations. Apparently, Devontae Parker liked the news that Brian Flores was fired. Apparently, a couple of weeks ago, Jasicki threw a ball near Brian Flores. There's all these little things, but then the flip side to that is
we should say allegedly instead of apparently. Allegedly.
Yeah, as a journalist, I use the word allegedly a lot more than apparently.
Allegedly, yeah.
But yeah, but what I found interesting is the people who allegedly are against this decision play on the offensive side of the ball. If you see what the defensive players are saying, I believe it was who did I message? Oh, I sent you a message about a player who said that they were sick. I believe it was
Nick Needham,
yeah. As I'm on social media right now, I will get what Brandon Jones tweeted. I know Blake Ferguson, thanked.
Yeah, for sure. You took a chance on me. Thanks, Coach. I'll never forget it.
Yeah. Brandon Jones said, "Can't thank this man enough for taking a chance on me. Appreciate everything, Coach Flo." Like, there's a lot of defensive players who are like, "Thank you." So we said that this wasn't due to coaching, it was due to relationships. It sounds like for the most part, defensive players had a good relationship with Flores. Now, if you ask Carl Van Noy that question, he would be like, "No." So it's, and I was watching the Pat McAfee show, and they mentioned that as well, that you bring in Carl Van Noy and all that money, and he's gone. Like, there's probably a few decisions, like, and again, it probably go back to that relationship between Chris Grier and Brian Flores. The chances are they both were happy with bringing in Carl Van Noy on that money. They give him that contract, and then a year later, Brian Flores like, "Out you go," and Chris Grier's probably like, "Dude, you're killing me. Like, why are you having me drop these contracts, drafting these players if you're not going to use them?"
Or vice versa. We don't know.
Oh no, of course,
or
yeah.
Vice versa.
100%, yeah. So it's this really is one of those situations where in 4 episodes time we're going to be talking about Tua, and I'm going to turn around and go, "By the way, Brian Flores," because there's there's been so many things I've wanted to say throughout the day, but it's one of the things where if I write it down, it sounds robotic, and I really want this episode to be for myself anyway, just how I feel at the moment. And at the moment, how I feel, my mind's just everywhere because this truly came out of left field. It made, again, the Twitter account, Go Time Dolphins Twitter account said it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. If you, I personally believe that next season, no matter who the quarterback was, if Flores had another bad start to the season, they would have fired him mid-season. So listen, dude, you have a team good enough to not be starting 1-7, 1-6, 1-5. I genuinely thought he would have got that season. But, like we've said, the bad starts, the constant turnovers, the way some players are used, Tua, Noah Igbenogany, Hunter Long, Carl Van Noy, it's just a matter of they just decided we're going to bring in someone who's a bit more holistic, I guess.
Bro,
but
who knows? Maybe Flores wasn't playing Hunter Long as a gripe. Like, Who knows? Like, nah, I ain't pick him. I ain't want him. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. But another thing I can say is Victory Visor will not be making an appearance on the show today. Shout out to the Victory Visor. We did beat New England. Tua is undefeated against Belichick. I can't. We before the firing of Flores, I was prepared to talk about new offensive coordinators, potential offensive coordinators. Like, are you interested in Matt Nagy? Are you interested in Anthony Lynn? Oh, I came for that. And then I told you, I still didn't even want the turnover at OC because it's too late in the process. We can't keep turning over, right? And I didn't want the turnover unless it was, you know what? Just go spin the bag on somebody and make sure they're here for 5 years type thing. So the Miami Heat had 3 coaches in 27 years. 3 head coaches in 27 seasons, Miami Heat. 3. The Miami Heat are at the top of the list in most respected, well-respected franchises in the NBA. The Miami Dolphins are at the bottom of the list as the least respected franchise in the NFL. How do you do that when the headquarters are not even 10 miles away from each other? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a travesty. It is a mockery. It is, I have aspirations, Kadeem. I do. And, somewhere in a dream where I'm like, man, I could be, not even dream world. When I was growing up, like, I could be a GM of a football team. And then as I got older, I'm like, you know what? Let me start putting together 2 Shades 24 so I can actually show these people I know how to make picks. You feel me? I know how to scout players. I can get the right players. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, you know what? One day Jacksonville's going to call me because they're always going to be trash. And they're going to be like, oh, you have a successful track record. You have a pretty good podcast and you have receipts. Come to Jacksonville and show us what we're doing wrong. Help us pick these players. That's what I always thought was going to happen. I'm like, I'm going to drive 6 hours up the road and I'm going to be, like some type of advisor to the GM for Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying?
6 hours up the road.
Yeah, Jacksonville is only 6 hours away from Miami.
See, the Jags are moving to London. Like, you best come move in London. Like, I was like, I've got a better chance of becoming a team. When they move to London, they're going to need some London, like me, 5-yard Lee. Dude, we got this, man. 5-yard Lee, I'll get you.
So, yeah, man, I always thought, Jacksonville's going to call me. They're right down the street. And, you make dope picks and you have receipts. Come help us out. Be some type of special advisor to the GM. Little did I know it was going to be my own franchise because we can't even get it right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. This don't take a lot. Hire people that know football. Hire people that have been around football forever. Hire people that got receipts. Charlie Touche, holla at your boy. I can help. I can fix. I can pick the right people. But look, real talk, though. Shout out to Sherrod Steve. I asked him a question. He said, I said, hey, bro, do you think Joe Burrow would have, if Joe Burrow was on this team, do you think we'd be in the playoffs or do you think it'd be any different? He said, yeah, I think he said, yeah, we probably would be in the AFC Championship the past 2 years, something like that. This is not a shot at Steve, but he said something like that. And I'm here to say it don't matter who we pick at quarterback. We were still going to be trashy on the offensive side of the ball. One, Burrow would have still got hurt, and then no one would have said he was injury prone, by the way, but they would have just been like, oh, the O-line got him hurt. But that's fair. Okay, cool. Burrow don't have T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and what's dog name, the running back?
Joe Mixon over here in Miami. Sherrod Steve. Shout out to Sherrod Steve. But he don't have that here, Sherrod Steve. You know what I'm saying? So there ain't no way we're going anywhere without all of that. You know what I'm saying? And lastly, this organization has never been able to build around a quarterback. Marino didn't even have help, bruh. There was time Marino was like, yo, help me. You know what I'm saying? We finally got a defense around Marino in the later part of his years. You know what I'm saying? We never really had a real deal running back for Marino. We always had these, no kidding. One of the running backs that we have for Marino actually worked for UPS.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be making jokes like, yo, go get some dog. Last week he worked for UPS. He actually did work for UPS, and I can't remember which one. Might have been Bernie Parmalee. Y'all, maybe. Like, we're not gonna stat check, fact check, but I think Bernie Parmalee worked for UPS before he worked for the Dolphins. Something like that. If it's not Bernie Parmalee, I don't think it was Cecil Collins, and I don't think it was Lawrence Phillip. I think it was Bernie Parmalee. Shout out to Sammy Smith. Shout out to all these running backs. Shout out to Keith Byers. I know my Dolphins. Y'all, yeah, I had to throw those names out there because I know y'all like, okay, he got a podcast, but I don't never hear no names. I hope y'all heard some names just now. Jim Kick. You feel me? Like, come on, man, I do this. But listen, back to current events. We're in ruins. We're in ruins. There's no way to go from here. Now, we can talk about where do we go from here? And before we talk about the speculation of where do we go from here, because I don't want to turn the corner on Flores too quick, because I got to say this. Now, in journalism, and I this is what I heard, Kadeem is a journalist. I'm not no journalist. You feel me? I'm shout out to Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee said Colin Cowherd took a shot at him because they don't do real journalism. And Pat McAfee said, I know. I know, you feel me? So yeah, I'm not a journalist, so I don't abide by journalism rules or journalist rules. But word on the street is, after the Tennessee Titan game, there was a confrontation in the locker room between a player unnamed and Flores. Confrontation, the word really was a fight. And I don't want to say fight because it could have been a physical, it could have been just a verbal fight. So I'm going to call it a confrontation. Now, if there's this confrontation between Flores and a player, and you don't see too many players after the fact. Now, if you start to see players right now start coming out, oh, this is messed up, and they do the Minka Fitzpatrick, and they want to, they go to bat for Flores on the way out. Yo, everybody up in arms, and there's a mass exodus. Do you know something was really wrong? And with the Miami Dolphins organization, like, all right, cool. But if no one's coming up to be like, you don't hear the two, yeah, thanks, coach. Thanks for taking the chance on me, coach. Like, I think that speaks volume. You feel me? So with the rumor, as a journalist, you're not supposed to talk about rumors, but with the rumor that there was a confrontation with Flores, and potentially we'll call it Tua. We'll just, it's an unnamed player, but we'll call it Tua. If there is this discrepancy there between them two, and Flores is not here no more, does that say Tua is the coach, is the quarterback moving forward? It doesn't, because the next coach could come in and say, hey, Tua ain't it. Like, yo, Tua is not it, and this is where the direction I want to go. All right, Ross came out and said, yo, that's on the new coach if we're going to keep Tua or not, or move forward with Tua or not. He did say Tua is our quarterback, but the head coach comes in and he got something else different to say. Well, listen. So there's a discrepancy there. You know what I'm saying? Relationships weren't what they needed to be successful, to move forward. And Ross alluded to that as well in his statement. The relationship side of Flores with Tua and Flores with Grier and Flores and Ross was not what it needed to be. Had nothing to do with his coaching. All right. Yes, he was lackluster on the offensive side of the ball. Too much turnover with his coaches, and defense wins championships, but offense sells tickets. Offense ain't doing nothing right now. Ain't selling tickets, ain't winning championships. We're not doing nothing on the offensive side of the ball. So yeah, bro, I'm okay. I don't mind he got fired. Like, I don't think he's supposed to get fired. I don't think he should have got fired. And I also, and this is not a popular opinion, I don't think Gase should have got fired either. Yeah, he wasn't the best, but we made it to the playoffs. We were with a year and a half of a quarterback, you know what I'm saying? And Gase had 3 seasons. 1 year and a half, he had a quarterback. The other year and a half, he didn't. And he got fired. And we still made it to the playoffs. So I think, give somebody a chance, build the right way. And the culture of the locker room was banged up back then. So Gase had it bad. Flores had it bad because he had to inherit that and he had to fix it. Got on the right track, didn't make the playoffs, but had to win the season. So I don't think neither one should have got fired. But this is where we are. You make your bed, you got to sleep in it. This has absolutely nothing to do with I told you so, we're sticking with Tua. Nah, bro, this is deeper than rap. This is bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we Dolphin fans first. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Now we got to figure out what's the next play. What's up, Kadeem?
Well, again, I've had so many reports from various different reporters, and I don't want to not give them the credit, but I genuinely cannot remember who said what at this point. Someone basically said, speaking to a few players, it wasn't more of a shock, it was more of a disappointment. And the kind of prevailing take that I got from that, what people kind of been saying is that, yes, Flores was hard to work with and hard to work for. He might have rubbed a few players up the wrong way, but it's like I've been saying today, and this goes to it. If you're 1-7 and you battle back to 8-8, you haven't lost the locker room. So yeah, these guys might be like, I hate playing for this guy, but I'm going to run through a wall for this guy. It's odd. So it's like he lost the locker room, but he didn't lose the locker room. It might be a case of, and the only person I could think of off the top of my head is Bill Belichick, where no one really likes playing for Bill Belichick. He's grumpy. He's very detail orientated. There's no fun in New England, but you respect him, you win games, and you move on. And it kind of the players in Miami respected him. They won games, and a few of them would have moved on. The chances are that Mike Gesicki would have moved on. Would have been asked about Brian Flores, like, yeah, he's a good dude. I had my time in Miami. I'm now here. Let's talk about that. Lynn Bowden tweeted, thank you. Again, players no one at the moment has kind of really trashed Brian Flores. The worst thing we've kind of heard is that he was a bit difficult to work with.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get trash, and I don't think you're gonna get too much support either. But go ahead.
Yeah, because again, it's very much a case of, we won games, we were successful. I'm sure we've had those managers where it's like, I don't like working for you, but you get results. We get stuff done. If you've played team sports, there's managers and coaches who we haven't agreed with, but you know what? Whatever you're doing is working right now. So until it stops working, then, we're not going to have a problem. And right now, it didn't stop working. Yes, Miami haven't made the playoffs in 2 years. And people say, well, that's a fireable offense. Back-to-back winning season and missed out on the playoffs by literally one game. Like, are we really doing this? Are we? Because so like you said, had Brian Flores been here, we wouldn't be talking about the Patriots game and different things. I came on this podcast once again ready to defend Tua and go, are we really going to kick out Tua for being boring? I was on the Finn's tailgate show last night very briefly, and literally we had this whole conversation about how, even though we won that game, fans were bored. And they went to someone like Watson because he's excited. And I was like, as a fan, I want to win. I don't care if you bore me while we win. Let's win. And no, someone literally said Mac Jones made some great throws. Mac Jones threw a pick six, fumbled the ball when he shouldn't have, and lost his team the game.
Hold on. Wait. Mac Jones, you said?
Mac Jones.
Hold on. The Patriots quarterback, Mac Jones?
The Patriots quarterback, Mac Jones.
The same Mac Jones that you fear? You and Steve fear?
I don't fear Mac Jones. No. We're going to do this right now. We're going to do this right now.
Mac Jones. Go ahead.
I don't fear Mac Jones as a quarterback, but in this New England system, he's going to win games. He's going to win championships. You take Mac Jones and put him elsewhere, I don't care about Mac Jones. So, okay.
You guys hear the theme? Go Time Dolphin fans. Listen, we're gonna get a real of my boy is back. My boy backpedaling again, boy. We miss you, Kadeem. Backpedaling, Kadeem. We miss you, bro. Because I thought for sure. I said, do you fear Mac Jones? And Sherrod Steve said, yeah. I said, no. Sherrod Steve said, I do. Sherrod Steve said, I do. And then Kadeem said, I do. So now all of a sudden, I don't fear Mac Jones. Nah, bro. You die on the hill, bro. It's okay. Fall on the sword, bro.
It's fine. I will fall on the sword. Before Mac Jones was drafted in New England, 5 Yard Lee was like, he's the perfect New England quarterback.
He is.
Yeah,
He is a perfect New England, just like Jimmy Garoppolo, perfect New England quarterback, and I don't fear neither one of them.
you don't.
Jimmy Garoppolo is trash.
Yes,
Mac
I know
Jones
he's trash.
might be trash. He might be okay, but I don't know if he's trash yet. It's too soon to call him trash. I'm fair. You get a couple years before you get called trash in Charlie Touche's book, unless you trash. So I don't know if he's trash, but I do not fear Mac Jones. He's no better than Jimmy Garoppolo right now.
But he's going to win in New England.
Well, so you fear that?
Why do I want to be in a division with a team that's going to win games?
Listen. Do you fear Mac Jones, Kadeem?
As a quarterback, as a person, his talent. No, I do not fear his talent.
So what you fear about Mac Jones then?
If you let me finish my sentence right now.
Go ahead, Kadeem.
I fear his talent in New England. Okay, the same way, yeah. People don't fear Tua. Tua in Miami, don't care about him. He's not going to do anything. You put Tua in New Orleans with Sean Payton, he's going to win your Super Bowl.
So just say you fear the Patriots then, bro. Just say you fear the Patriots. I don't fear Mac Jones. I fear the Patriots.
Okay, listen. So
Patriots gonna get it right. Say that. The same Patriots that ain't beat us since Tua showed up. Those Patriots.
So if you let me get back to the point I was making, and originally, can I do that? When you were talking about the episode, I left you alone.
My bad, Mr. Backpedal. I forgot, bro. I forgot.
I'm backpedaling my way to keep my PS5. That's what I'm saying.
Backpedal. I was trying to keep up. You was backpedaling so fast.
I'll backpedal my way to keep my PS5. That's all I'm going to say.
Backpedal.
But anyway, I was on this show, and they were talking about how Mac Jones made exciting wild plays against the Dolphins, and I was like, Mac Jones also threw a pick six, fumbled the ball, and the Dolphins won. Like, I don't. So I came to the podcast to make that point, and instead I'm talking about Brian Flores being fired because. And it's the first time we've said this on this show. Shout out to Josh Kashka and his brother Aaron. They'll be on the show very, very soon. But those same old Dolphins. You know, Brian Flores gets fired and immediately he's going to get a head coaching job very, very soon. Like, it's like we said, the coach is there. The coach is brilliant. The coach just had a few problems and he lost his job because of it. And as we look forward, to me, the only thing we can do is hire an offensive-minded head coach. To me, that's the only thing we can do at this point because you need to get something out of Tua. Okay,
you need to get somebody the offense.
Yeah, and that's why I stopped because even if you go and bring in Watson or whoever you bring in, and we'll get to that at some point later down the line, this offense has. And maybe that's the reason why Brian Flores didn't last long in his job because his offense basically stank for the past 3 years through very different quarterbacks. And again, that's another thing. People are like, well, in the year when you was evaluating everyone, you started Ryan Fitzpatrick over Josh Rosen. You should have started Rosen. We can go back and forth on that, but people to this day still said Flores should have started Rosen. He didn't. He started Fitz. Okay, fair enough. He then pulled Fitz, brought in Rosen. Okay, fair enough. We're now going to go with Rosen. He then pulled Rosen, brought in Fitz. Okay, season 1 done. Brian Flores season 2, draft Tua. You start Fitz. Okay, cool. You then take out Fitz, and you don't tell him you're taking him out. He has to find out via the media. All of a sudden, now it's like, dude, you're annoying me.
But, and throwing the Tua that's not ready.
Yeah.
By the way, we still don't know whose idea that was. But since we're here, I'll let y'all have it now.
Yeah,
it could be Flores' decision now. Go ahead.
Yeah,
ride out with it.
But he pulls out Fitz, chucks in Tua. He then pulls out, and again, this goes back to the relationships. It's, dude, you're rubbing people the wrong way when you don't need to. Even this season, this back and forth. Like, what did you say the first time he pulled Tua for Ryan Fitzpatrick? You do it once. You don't do it again. And he's done it over and over again. And like we aren't doing this. We this can't be happening no more. Year 2 into Tua's season, you can't be taking him out on 3rd and short, 4th and short to chuck in Jacoby Brissett. And even the Patriots game so it was raining on Sunday, right? So what did Miami do? They run the ball. They run the ball
successfully too.
And the week before, when they needed to run the ball, what did they do?
Did not run the ball.
So and again, like that. To be fair, that's coaching. That's the coaching side of it. But you sent me the press conference with Brian Flores after, and he looked like someone who knew he was out of a job.
He knew. Hey, listen, Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond but across the world. I'm Charlie Touche. Got Kadeem Simmons with me, always for the fans and by the fans. Kadeem just brought up a YouTube link. It's the post-game presser, and it was Brian Flores, what turned out to be his last interview with the Miami Dolphins. It was a post-game, and they're asking the regular questions. Oh, what did you think you did right to win? And okay, with the season being over, how do you feel? You beat Belichick so many times. Oh, what can we do to get better? Da da da. Excuse me. If you look at Brian Flores, it looked like there were some tears that he already shed, probably in the locker room. And the season's over, and all right, fellas, take it easy type stuff. But it looked like, if you hear the answers of the questions now that we're looking back and we have hindsight, if you listen to Brian Flores, listen to the answer the questions, there was no, we got to go back to the drawing board, we'll fix this in the offseason. And nah, it was his answers were, I think they did good. I think it was pretty good, and I'm happy where it came from.
I'm
you know what I'm
saying? This team.
I'm proud of this team.
And it's stuff like the team never let me down. They always fought for me.
He knew answering the question, he was done. And it looked like dude was crying like prior to the interview. Was cool. Yeah, shoot a couple tears. I shoot a couple tears. I cry for the Dolphins all the damn time. So you know what I'm saying?
Nah, dude. I feel like crying right now.
So listen. Hey, look, let's turn the corner a little bit just for podcast purposes, because we can really, this could be a 5-hour episode, bro. And we don't get paid like Pat McAfee to have 5-hour episodes. So how about this? If Deshaun Watson was rumored to Miami because he liked Flores, and Flores is no longer here, what does that mean? Now, I have my suspicions that he just used that as an excuse to come to Miami. Like, yo, I like Flores and I like Grier. I want to go to Miami. Flores is not here, and I speculate Watson would still want to come here. I think he was just looking for an out. I feel like he just likes the location. He'll be living in Miami and all the good stuff, whatever, good weather, all the good, it's Miami. It's cool. So I think he was just using that as an excuse. But let's just say he's done with Miami. Like, nah, I'm not going to Miami. They're in flux. They can never get it right. And I wanted to go for Flo. I know it's Go Time Dolphins, but Flo was a Dolphin less than 24 hours ago. All right. I just want to entertain this real quick. I honestly believe Flores is a great coach. Great. Not good. I believe Flores is a great coach. He was a first-time coach, so he has to learn on the job. And I think he'll fix it up. He'll get it right, and he'll get his offense right eventually. It just won't be with us, unfortunately, for him. I believe Flores will excel in the NFC North, especially if Aaron Rodgers isn't there. So the Bears just became available. The Vikings just became available. And if Aaron Rodgers leaves, the Detroit Lions might be in playoff contention next year because of that division. That division is going to look like the NFC East. So I just want to entertain this real quick. What if Brian Flores goes to Minnesota and Deshaun Watson goes with him and they get rid of Kirk Cousins? It's Brian Flores, Deshaun Watson, Dalvin Cook. What's your boy name? Giddy?
Oh, I'm Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. Y'all know we play Minnesota next year, right? I'm just saying, like, let's start it up now. Let's just throw it out there. But nah, man. Head coach, what do you think? Who we targeting? Where we gonna go? Do you have anybody in mind? Apparently, the Jim Harbaugh rumors, not rumors, but Ross came out ahead and said, nah, it's not Harbaugh. So what do you think? Hey, shout out to Sherrod Steve, because Sherrod Steve banged me up in the text messages today, like, oh, this is who we should go with. I'm like, damn, that's a good idea. And he said, nah, this is who we should go with. I like, dang, Steve, that's a good idea too. And they had another one. This is who we should go with. Dang, boy, you on the roll, Steve. But me and Steve already had, same kind of thought process. But go ahead. Who do you think we should go with?
So when speaking to Shay about Steve, and I mentioned the Jim Harbaugh stuff, I always get his name wrong. I think that's just me, my English accent. Deal with it. I'll call him Jim H. So Ross turned around and was like, I'm not going to take Jim H from Michigan. That doesn't mean Jim H isn't going to be the next head coach of Miami Dolphins. It just means Ross isn't going to go in there and take him. Now, if he decides that he wants to leave and he wants to join Miami, that's different. Although about an hour ago, NBC Sports Chicago tweeted that he's discussing an extension with Michigan. So maybe, the rumors of him
Who's discussing what? Oh, Jim Harbaugh is discussing the extension with Michigan. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a perfect time for Jim Harbaugh to level up and talk bread. Hey, Michigan, I need 10 more M's. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So there's that. I spoke to Chris Adams earlier. I could say it's on the show, but I said to him as well. After going with Adam Gase, first-time head coach, and going with Brian Flores, first-time head coach, maybe he doesn't want another first-time head coach.
Philbin was a first-time head coach as well.
Yeah. So maybe he's just like...
Sperano was a first-time head coach as well.
Maybe he's like, I'm not doing this no more. Because obviously people are like, we'll go and get Brian Dable, who's worked with Tua. You've seen what we've done in Buffalo with Josh Allen. You bring him... He was offensive coordinator in Miami at one point, wasn't he?
I don't know. I can't confirm.
I saw on Wikipedia earlier before my time. I think he had like the 20th offense in the league when he was in Miami, lasted one season.
And it's probably with a trash quarterback though.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But again, I think that's the kind of thing where he's gone away, he's developed, he has a relationship with Tua, like
more experience.
This is a team people, media heads, NFL rival fans, all that kind of stuff saying, well, who want to go to Miami? You've got a great defense, $80 million in cap space, and a rookie quarterback. Why wouldn't you want to go to Miami? Because there's a building foundation. They've got a first round pick this year, which we haven't done Baywatch in ages, but shout out to the 49ers making the playoffs. And, but next year we've got 2 first round picks next year, is it?
No, 1 first round pick. We just got the 49ers first round pick. That's it. The year after that, we have 2 first round picks. We're already in next season, is what you're saying.
Well, no, this year we've just got the 49ers, yeah?
Yeah, all right. So 2023, we have 2 first round picks.
Yeah. So the point I was making was this year you've got 1 first round pick and $8 million in cap space, but next year you've got 2 first round picks. So the Dolphins still have draft capital, and if they don't get Watson, you can build around a quarterback who I still believe you can win with. So I think that's my way of saying this is still a very attractive job. The only problem is you have to work with a GM who didn't hire you, or sorry, a GM you weren't paired with, and an owner who, if you win back-to-back seasons, will go, nah, out you go, and that's an issue. So names. Someone tweeted that the Miami are looking at Byron Leftwich, which would be interesting, but I think it's a name that's come up quite a few times as the offensive coordinator. And now, as a head coach, why not? Doug Peterson, experienced, a former Miami Dolphins quarterback, be it, a best practice squad quarterback, but, links to Miami, links to Marino. He might want to come back in. So that's potentially an option. But it's also a matter of, me personally, 8 hours isn't enough to really delve deep into this because I didn't think I'd be having this conversation. You're
That's
gonna,
fair. That's fair.
And you're gonna have your why don't you go and get an Eric Bieniemy? Why don't you go?
Hey, don't step on my toes, man, because I gotta come in here too, bro.
Well, okay, yeah,
I'll give it back to you. I'll give it back to you.
No. No, yeah, because like there can be a bunch of names who are going to get banded around.
Mhm.
My main worry is Steve Ross kind of saying at the moment, I don't really have a plan. It's like, dude, if you're going to fire a guy, you best have a plan
You
because
think he got a plan? Do you what if he didn't have a plan? You think it's the right plan? Like it don't matter. He plan or no plan. We the
no, of
Dolphins,
course, yeah,
bro.
but it's like it's one of them things where and it depends. I said earlier in the show that this isn't a decision that was made last night or today. It's been in the making. So for the last few weeks, even though you've got a head coach, you kind of put feelers out there. That's cool. But teams have basically have a good few weeks head start on you. So you're automatically playing catch up. But at the same time, like I said, the Dolphins, people will disagree, but the Dolphins are still an attractive proposition due to a rookie quarterback, whether you like him or not. He's on a rookie contract.
Cap space.
You've got the cap space, and you've got a defense where if you could bring in a good defensive coordinator, is going to ball out as you've seen this year.
Let me ask you something. Did the Dolphins have a bad weather game plan going into Tennessee?
No.
For everybody who's watching on YouTube, that's exactly what it looked like when that question was proposed to Mike Gesicki. Like that's exactly what it was. So for everybody saying Brian Flores did not deserve to be fired, listen, I wanted Flores. I did not want to fire him. I wanted to keep him, but I'm okay with him getting fired. I'm that sucks, but I'm not tripping. Offensive side of the ball is crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? And I got some more things, but whatever. We got all off season. Whew, where do we go from here?
Very, very quickly. Javon Holland and Christian Wilkins made PFF's All-Pro team.
That's what's up. Dig. Head coach. Before I go into who I want for my head coach, if you know you're going to fire your coach, right? They went 1-7. Who knows when this decision was made, right? The relationships in the building aren't what they need to be. Then you go 1-7. He might have been done then. He might have. We don't know. Then they turn it around. Oh, that's impressive that the team could rally around this coach, but we already had him out. This guy is going to have to go to the AFC Championship if in order not to get fired. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's already the writing was already on the wall, he's going to have to go beyond the first round, I should say. He's going to have to win a playoff game to keep his job. And I think they would just deal with it and it's keep everything in-house. Everybody's family got something going on that no one knows about, right? So I think that's what would have happened. Flores would have had to go to the second round of the playoffs. That didn't happen. That being said, all of a sudden, a lot of stuff makes sense. Flores yelling at Tua on the sideline in the Titans game when it was a team loss and not a Tua loss. It was on everybody, you know what I'm saying? But Flores want to yell at him for probably not throwing the ball away before halftime. Okay, why are you yelling at Chris Grier for not getting a better line so he don't have to throw the ball away like that? But maybe Flores does. I don't know. My thing is, it kind of shows like, oh, this is why things was going on. Like, oh, that's why he upset. This is why. Look at the relationships on the sideline in front of the cameras. Then you got a rumor going around that there was a fight. And I'm going to call it a confrontation because fight people could just run off with. There's a confrontation between Flores, potentially Tua, and a player. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what it was. I don't see Tua fading nobody. But I could see, a pretty good spat in the locker room like, why y'all had me throw the ball 40 times? You know what I'm saying? I could see that. You know what I'm saying? Especially yelling at me and on the sideline. Why y'all had me throw the ball 40 times? Why y'all got me out here looking like a chicken with my hair cut off? You know what I'm saying? Like, this organization to set this quarterback up to fail, whether it's your quarterback or not, I can see that. I end up liking the quarterback. But if it was somebody else, I'll still say the same thing. But whatever. Head coach. Now, once upon a time, NFL used to trade coaches. And me and Steve was talking earlier, and I'm not really sure. I want to be clear. I'm not really sure how the trade coaches thing works because I remember Doug Marrone was the coach for the Buffalo Bills. and said, I'm out of here and I'm going to coach Jacksonville. Like, who does that? I'm leaving Buffalo to go coach Jacksonville. Maybe he was on his last leg and said, I want to go fishing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm out of here out of this weather. But he left Buffalo and went to Jacksonville with Tom Coughlin. And that was a historic failure. And look at Buffalo flourishing now. So Doug Marrone just left. He was under contract and he just left and he ended up being the Jacksonville coach. But I believe he opted out. So I don't know how. Yeah, I heard you could trade for coaches. That's cool. We've seen it. I think Belichick got traded. Parcells got traded. A couple coaches got traded in our times. Matter of fact, I could probably look it up real quick. Here we go right here. John Gruden got traded from the Raiders to Tampa. Who else got traded? Parcells, I said that real quick. But all right, we know coaches get traded. And I don't know if there's an opt-out right now, but I know Sean Payton has one more year on this contract. We're not going to wait a year. But you need to do whatever you have to do to go get Sean Payton. And I'm dead serious. I have a short list. I only want 2 coaches, and Sean Payton is one of them. I am going to go to Sean Payton, and I believe he gets $9 million right now. And I'm going to say, hey, Sean Payton, I'm going to mess up the whole game and give you $14 million. And every time someone comes close to getting paid more than you, I'm going to give you more money. And I guarantee you will be the highest paid head coach in the NFL for the duration of you being with the Dolphins. I'm on Twitter. I said, I'm just giving him a blank check. And straight up, whatever Sean Payton wants to get paid, I don't care that he gets 9. Why can't we just pay somebody 18 right now? Just go double what he makes and say, hey, fix it. You feel me? So I'm getting Sean Payton by any means necessary. If you got to trade for him and you got to lose a pick, I'm losing a pick to go get Sean Payton. I don't care what pick it is either. Like, I don't care. Go get Sean Payton, pay him whatever he wants, and tell him you're going to be the highest paid head coach in the NFL for the duration of your stint here in Miami. And I would do that. Obviously, that sounds unrealistic. Sorry, Dolphin fans. It's too good to be true. So we probably won't end up with Sean Payton. But the only other person I want, bro, I don't want no first-time head coaches no more. Flores was cool. Gase was cool. Eric Bieniemy was a pipe dream a couple years ago. I wanted to get Kyler Murray and pair him with Eric Bieniemy. I thought that would have been perfect. It didn't happen. Whatever. That was pre-Tua, by the way. Didn't happen. I only want established coaches. And be on this same podcast, I said, yo, let's go see what Doug Peterson is doing and pay him the bag to be the OC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why we can't pay an offensive coordinator a crazy amount of money to be the assistant head coach and OC. Whatever Brian Flores is getting paid, we could pay Doug Peterson $1 million less just to be OC next to Brian Flores. You feel me? That's what I wanted. Like, look, Brian Flores could get paid $5 million a year. Go pay Doug Peterson $4 million to be the OC, right? But it didn't happen. So now we don't got to do that. Now we just got to go get Doug Peterson. And in my opinion, that's all I want. He's the only coach I feel like, he's offensive side of the ball. He played in Miami behind Marino, cool with Marino. And you got to imagine. Flores ain't want Tua, but Tua is the quarterback. Peterson and Marino have a good relationship. Maybe there's already talks like, hey, word on the street, Dougie. Who knows what Marino calls Doug Peterson? Hey, Dougie. You know what I'm saying?
DP.
You feel me? And Doug probably say, what's up, Danny boy? Like, yeah, man.
He doesn't call him that.
Danny boy?
He doesn't call him that, Danny boy.
What? Why can't he call him Danny boy?
Nah, I feel like Marino too cool to be called Danny boy.
I think people used to call him Danny boy.
Yeah, used to.
All right. Anyway, Dougie and Danny boy, right? We're going to change the podcast name to Dougie and Danny boy. They have a relationship. And in a week and a half to 2 weeks, if you see Doug Peterson as a Miami Dolphin head coach, I am 1,000,000% sure that it happened before that conversation happened way before Flores was fired. And Doug will come in, he'll be the head coach. And if Doug comes in, I'm gonna be 1,000% sure that Tua is the quarterback. Now, if Doug Peterson is not the head coach, I believe Watson is still in play. And that's where I'm at. And that's all it is. Hey, look, come over to bonus time with us. Brian Flores fired after 3 seasons with the Miami Dolphins, had the same record as Adam Gase. It's bad times right now, and I don't even know if there's ever been good times, if I'm being honest with you. So y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
Just to clarify,
Go ahead.
Brian Flores did not finish with the same record.
He didn't?
as Adam Gase.
I thought.
Adam
Oh,
Gase.
you're right. You're right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you know what the record was? Because I
23 and 25.
23 and 25.
Yeah.
My fault.
But then I guess, right, Flores got an extra regular season game, but Gase had a playoff game, so balances it out.
Hold on. So they ended up with the same record?
All I've got is this is from Joe Shad, who tweeted Joe Philbin 24 and 28, Adam Gase 23 and 25, and Brian Flores 24 and 25.
Yeah. So it was one game off. It's cool. It is what it is.
We both mentioned primarily offensive-minded head coaches. Now that's not to say you can't, get a defensive-minded head coach, and he comes in with no disrespect to Brian Flores, a solid offensive game plan.
It's not disrespectful, bro. Like that's fact. That's fact. There's no disrespect, bro. You got to own it.
But I think primarily, and I think especially when we knew we were drafting a quarterback, people were like, "Let's go and get an offensive-minded head coach."
I was one of those.
100%. But I feel like this time it's just go and get. And it sounds dumb. Just go and get a good coach. Like in Brian Flores, you got a good coach. Follow that up, because a good coach will surround himself with more good coaches.
I don't know that to be true.
I was about to say, well, Brian Flores didn't do that, but
yeah,
it's what was the game? We had so many losses this year. But before the game, on the preview show, I was just like, don't embarrass me. Whatever you do, don't embarrass me. And it's like, where I am right now, it's like Miami, don't embarrass me.
That was I think that was Buffalo.
It might have been Buffalo.
I think that was Buffalo. It was early in the season.
Yeah.
It was the Colts. Nah, I think it was Buffalo.
There's so many games.
That was a great episode, by the way, man. That was a great episode.
Also, before I get to my point, I was thinking earlier, we might have to change our intro, because Brian Flores is there.
That's gonna happen every year. Every year we're gonna have to change it a little bit. We're gonna change it around a little bit.
But yeah, so watch out for that. But I don't want to become that franchise who, when they hire a new head coach, they force a quarterback on him. And I think what Stephen Ross said was kind of smart. He was like, I'm a fan of Tua, but essentially if the next guy wants someone else, I will give them that. I think that's the best thing. That's what you have to do. You can't have these interviews and be like, by the way, before we start, you've got Tua. Because then the guys can be like, well, then no. Because if you don't like Tua, you then get a situation once again, like with Brian Flores, where it's just like, I don't like this guy. And you're going to undermine him. You're going to cut him off at the legs. It's going to be like, at the first sign of trouble, nope, get out of here. So I think, and again, we were going to have plenty of conversations about who the quarterback was going to be next year. And we're still going to have the conversations because up until the first game of the season, we just don't know what's going to happen. But primarily, if I was... Okay, everyone asks this question. If I'm Stephen Ross, I'm a young black guy, but I'm Stephen Ross in the situation. I'm a young black Stephen Ross.
Hey, bro, let me borrow something. Let me hold something, bro. Like just 1 M, just 1 million. Please, bro. Like, you Stephen Ross, you my dog. Can I get 1 million?
No.
See?
Let me finish.
Wow,
let me finish. You can get a job.
Hey, my dog.
So instead of giving you 1 million and then year down the line, that's all gone, I'm going to give you a job. So you can feed yourself, you can feed your family, and you can be a provider.
I like it. You all right with me, Stephen Black Ross?
Thank you very much. So my plan. So this is me, Stephen Ross. And as I said this, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to hire someone who wants Tua. I'm not going to force someone on Tua. But I'm going to hire someone who wants Tua because for me, it's we've got a rookie quarterback with 80 million in cap space, and I'm not going to sit there and go build me the best offensive line and the best run game and the best wide receivers. I think Tua can win with a mediocre set of receivers and a mediocre offensive line and a mediocre run game. Miami drafted a pocket passer who excels in the RPO game. And they gave him no pocket to pass out of and no run game. There was not even an option for a run game. They gave him P. Before I said they gave him a PO, they just gave him P. They gave him pass. And yesterday against the Patriots, when there was a genuine run game, look what happened. Now, people would still say he only threw 419 yards and 1 touchdown. He was boring. He won the game.
Hold on. You talk about this last Patriot game?
The last Patriots game.
I'm so glad you brought it up, bro.
See,
like, bro, you seen what happened. You seen the narrative of the game. We're up 17-0, 14-0. There's no reason to go for broke. You know what I'm saying? Run the ball. You know what I'm saying? You go up big on them. And we wasn't really going to do a review, but look at how the defense let this team back in the game. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, yo, what's up, defense? And by running, by the way, the Patriots abandoned the pass middle of the game because of the quarterback that you feared, Matt Jones, couldn't get it done. So they started running the whole game, and they came back because of the running game. So, yeah, bro, that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. I'm going to get back to you real quick, but this is what I'm saying. When it was like, playoffs on the line, everybody was blinded. The fandom just blinded them. I'm like, bro, the defense did not perform in that Titans game, but everybody just wanted to point to a skip pass in the first quarter when it was 0-0. Like, nah, look what happened in this Patriots game. And I'm glad we had the lead so it could be apparent. Like, look how easy they came back running the ball on us. But go ahead, my bad, bro.
No.
You don't need to throw the ball 500 times for 500 yards if you're up by 17 points. You don't have to.
Listen, it's
all right. Why you huffing and puffing? I'm so glad you brought this up because listen, 5 years from now, when we look back and Tua has a ring for the Dolphins, and it's only 2 rings. It's only 1 ring because it could have been more. It's only 1 ring 5 years from now. And everybody said, oh, we could have had more if we would have did this, and this. I'm like, listen, like, what are y'all talking about? And then they go, look at his stats. Look at his stats. I'm like, bro, stats don't tell the truth, bro. Like, because now you're going to look at the stats of this Patriot game and be like, what did Tua do against the Patriots? It was all the defense. And we all know that's a lie. We just seen the game. We know that's a lie. You feel me? So, nah, man, like, I'm not with it.
But so to me, it's, and you spoke earlier about this team had no foundation, it's rotten to the core. Brian Flores has built some kind of foundation.
I
Now,
agree.
the next guy who comes in, from what these players are kind of saying already, they seem to have some kind of respect for Brian Flores.
Mhm.
I don't say liked him, but they at least respected the dude.
You could like someone and you could respect them and you can still be happy for them on the way out the door. Don't
Yeah,
get it.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yo, we need better, but this is a team sport, and
Yeah.
it's not just the defense.
So they build upon what Brian Flores basically started, and for me, and again, it's not going to be popular, but if you can finish what Brian Flores started, build an offensive line, get 2 or 3 good wide receivers, that'd be amazing. Just give me some good wide receivers, some good, reliable wide receivers. Give me a good running back, and then see what happens. Listen, if the next guy comes in and it doesn't work out with Tua, dude, go and get your guy. That is fine. And as Black Stephen Ross, I will back you. I'll say, do you know what? Coach Touche with 5-yard Lee as your offensive coordinator and Chris Adams as, your running. No, he played linebacker. So defensive coordinator and Josh Katzker, my special teams guy. Like, I'm guys, I've got all of you. You guys have all got jobs. It's fine. It is what it is. If you guys come to me and say, you've seen us try, we've improved your offensive line. It's now 27th in the league. Our run game is 22nd in the league. We've got some good receivers. And Tua's letting us down. I say, do you know what, guys? Yep, that's cool. Now
you could trade the house. You could trade the house and just input a quarterback. You know what's funny? I heard this on the Fins Tailgate. Shout out to Chris Adams. The Fins Tailgate podcast. And someone, I might have said this on this podcast already, but I got to say it again because it was such a good analogy. The Dolphins wanting to go get Deshaun Watson is like putting a cherry on top of a sundae that isn't made yet. Like, yo, a banana split. It don't even got the ice cream in it yet. It don't even got the bananas on one side. There's only one side of a banana, and the ice cream isn't in it, and Deshaun Watson is the cherry, and the sundae isn't even made. Y'all tripping. You have to build it first the right way, put the ice cream in it, put the bananas in it, get you an O-line, and build it the right way, and then put the cherry on top. Yo, build this team the right way. Regardless of if Tua is the quarterback or not, you have to build it the right way. Then you get you a quarterback and plug them if you have to. But I think we got our quarterback. But that's my opinion.
Yeah. Like I said, there's going to be the most random episode talking about the most random thing. And I promise you, I'm just going to turn around and go, we really fired Brian Flores. And we're going to be back here again. This is a... We literally could have been there for 6-7 hours just talking about so many different things. For me, I'll end on this because I tweeted it. We'll always have London. I got to ask Brian Flores a question in London. That is something you can never take away from me. Now, as I think about it, we lost and it's rubbish. But, dude, I got to ask you a question and, I'm a Dolphins fan first. This isn't a Brian Flores picture. It's not a Tua picture. That's not a Brian Flores picture, But Flores was my coach. He was my head coach, and I'm sad to see him go.
I am not sad to see him go, but I am not happy that he went. I think that's fair. I'm not sad and I'm not happy that he went. But we have a chance to do something that has not been done too many times in the NFL. And I believe this team is close. I really do. Whether y'all want to at me and come at my dome, like, I believe this team is close. When Gesicki said we're close in the loss after Atlanta, and everybody was like, close to what? What are you talking about, Mike? You feel me? I felt them. I like, bro, I know we close. When everybody said, oh, the Dolphins don't want it, they already checked out, and you could tell they're dejected on the field. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? I see Mac Hollins doing the gritty every punt. I see Robert Hunt, friend of the podcast, doing the gritty after every touchdown. I see Austin Jackson fighting and almost getting penalties after every play. They did not check out.
He gets that anyway. Like that's not something we need to be worried about him getting.
Cool. So they did not check out. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe they checked out. And I believe we're close, just like what they do. And you can see the chemistry in the locker room. This culture was so bad. It was the worst culture. We had Hayes Gate. What was it? The Bounty? No, not Bounty Gate. It was another gate. What? Bully Gate. Yeah. Bully Gate. Yeah, we was bullying people. Everything, bro. Cam Wake was the ringleader of the everything. Like, bro, clean this locker room out, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what Gates tried to do, but he was unsuccessful. So cool. Flores did it. Grier did it. They have the right culture now, and we can do something right now. We could get this new coach, and all of a sudden, when we're successful, we could say, "Dang, they won with Flores' team." Everybody knows that's not Doug Peterson's team. Everybody knows that's Flores' team. So we have a chance. Just put the right pieces in place, fix up the positions that need to be fixed. You're not gonna do nothing with just Devontae Parker as your receiver, or now just Jalen Waddle. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do it. And honestly, this is gonna tell me a lot what Mike Gesicki does now as a free agent. If he says, I am out of here, like there's no way you're gonna bring me back here, that says something. Mike Gesicki does not come off as Minkah Fitzpatrick, so his actions are gonna go a long way. If he comes back and say, "Yo, sign me up. These are my guys," that says something else too. So we'll find out real soon. Y'all be easy.